everybody, I'm Lauren Cohen, and I'm here today with our lovely client, Robert Pharoah. And Robert is Robert, you have the special significant status of being our most recent visa recipient, because we had 4 last week, but 3 of them were the day prior to you, and then you were on the Wednesday, I believe, right?
Yep, that's right.
Perfect. And so, Robert, how did you originally come to us anyway?
Someone that I worked with directed me your way.
Awesome.
He saw you on YouTube.
Okay.
So I did some fishing around because we were kind of tired of being stuck in Canada during the lockdowns, and we were, trying to find different avenues to get out of there. So we got in contact with you. Yeah.
And at first, if I remember, there was a little hesitation, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to do my homework and find out if it was legit, because I wanted to do my due diligence.
It's a lot of commitment.
It is a lot of money, a lot of commitment, and it's a full life change, an upheaval if you're not always constantly thinking about it. So yeah, it was. I had to do my homework, and the homework that I did all pointed me in the right direction towards you. Yeah.
Well, thank you, and it's been truly a pleasure to work with you throughout the process. You've always been kind and appreciative, and I think that when you work with clients that are kind and appreciative, it makes the process that much easier, because it's a win-win on everybody's side. And so when and if there's always going to be little blips in the road, and I think that every time that we were there to help you through the blip, right?
Oh, for sure. And that's the great thing about working with investing across borders, is you guys made it so much easier, took all the work out of it. And if there was any blips, your team was on it right away and smoothed everything out very quickly. It was a very good process.
I appreciate that. It was a good process working with you as well. Notice I've changed my accent. I say process. Although when I speak to my Canadians, it often comes back, or I say out like the Canadian way. I can't help it. I am Canadian, at the end of the day. So one of the things that I wanted to ask you about, because a lot of people ask me, is about finding the business, because at first you were very unsure what you wanted to do, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And we came in and helped you. We directed you toward a franchise for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is that you didn't have particular interest in a specific business or that kind of business experience of running a business, and you wanted to do something related to real estate and a franchise because it was turnkey. So how has that process been for you, about finding the business and going through that process of being fit with the business on both sides and introduced to the franchise and all of that? How's that been for you?
It's been great. I was very apprehensive at first. Specifically from what you said, I wasn't particularly sure which avenue I wanted to get into. I wanted to get into the restaurant business, and
that's right. Now I recall, and I talked you out of it, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. The overhead is way, way too high.
And also it was right after COVID, when there was such an issue with supply chain. And I was like, you know what, make your life easy, right?
Yes.
And I didn't, when people are moving, I feel so strongly that it's hard enough to make a move, especially when you have kids, and you have a spouse and you're moving your family. You're not, like Robert said, it's not something that you just like snap your fingers. Oh, I just want to move. I can't even move out of my house. So it's a big move across borders, and there's a lot to think about. And so I try to make this process as seamless and painless as possible. There's always going to be challenges and, a few tears along the way, I'm sure, because you're leaving your home that and your family and whatever. But I think that what makes it special for me is I've been there. My family is all in Toronto or the GTA, and I really understand what you're going through, having been through the process. And I think that that's a big differentiator for me. I hope you would agree that you could feel my compassion and empathy for you.
Yeah, you really put that into your program. It really shows. Yeah.
Thank you. And also another thing is the access, because as soon as if you send a text, how quickly were we responding?
Oh, right away. That was the great thing about it, because it wasn't always look at my calendar, schedule an appointment. If I ever had any question, any time during the week or on the weekend, you were getting back to me within minutes. It was
Yes.
a great method of communication.
Thank you. It definitely is an acquired taste for some people because we are all over it, but that's what makes us special. And even when I was in Israel, or when I'm traveling, or when I'm on a cruise, I know we spoke at least once
Yeah.
while I was on a cruise at some point, because I went on a bunch of cruises, but that's really what I commit to with my clients, because I take your success very seriously. You're not just a number to me or a client. You become a friend, and I care about you and your family. And even though we haven't met in person, we will. I actually have 2 clients, very recent clients in the past month, in the Melbourne Space Coast area. So I'll definitely be making my way up there, because I've got to meet you both in person.
Yes, of
It's
course.
not that far. I have no excuse, you know. But yeah, at the end of the day, Robert chose a great property management franchise to invest in. He's just starting. He just got his visa last week. So, you know, gung-ho to get things started. He's about to go to Salt Lake City, Utah for an intense training, so that he's ready to hit the ground running, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, to go back to picking the franchise, that was good
Yes.
for us. Your questionnaire that you did, it was really good.
Oh, good.
I was surprised, and I was very hesitant to do a property management company, just because I had little experience in it. But what a blessing in disguise it was working with PMI. I lucked out so much, because we were going to go with another one. I think it was Happy Smiles, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And you directed me towards PMI. So it was best choice we could have made by far. These guys are really great.
Everybody, there's an opportunity for everybody, but the opportunity is not for everybody. So it's not one size fits all. And that's so important, because you're dealing with people's lives and their futures, and understanding that it is not one size fits all is critical to that. Just like with our strategic REI business, our strategic real estate investing business, where we build a business around a person that's a real estate investor and their goals, because your goals are not the same as Joe's goals or Frida's goals or whatever. And we have to find the franchise or the business or the real estate business that's right for you. And that's the differentiating factor for us, because we really do get to know our clients and understand their hesitations, because it's different. If you're a very experienced real estate investor, you may be looking for a different type of business than if you are looking for something that's a smooth and easy path. And some businesses are better for people than others. And again, it's not one size fits all. As my assistant put in one of our recent slide decks, one size fits none. And that's the truth. And I really like that. I made her blow it up, because I was like, that is so appropriate for us. We are really about one size fitting none. And tell us about your interview process, because you were nervous like every client. And so how hard was that process?
The hardest part was preparing for it.
Exactly.
It was very underwhelming, because I was expecting.
That's a good word. How long was it? 4 minutes?
About that. The whole process, from going through security into the consulate until the end of the interview, was less than an hour. The majority of the time I was standing in line.
Right.
The actual interview itself, probably about 5 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was a series of simple questions of, why did I pick the company that I did? Tell me about the company, how much I invested, and that was about it.
So that comes from being well prepared, and that's what our team does: is prepare a package that is seamless, prepare our clients so that they are seamless with the questions and that they can answer, because it's not always 5 minutes. Sometimes it's 20, sometimes it's longer. And it doesn't necessarily depend on you. It depends on the interviewer. And if they woke up on the wrong side of the bed, like I had happen to me one time when they sent me to secondary. So, you have to be prepared for all of possibilities and eventualities. And we try to prepare our clients for that. At the end of the day, we can't foresee everything, but we try to really get our clients ready for anything that may come their way. And there will be things that come your way. So Robert, I know we're going to grab a quick written testimonial from you, but why don't you, in your own words, just summarize your experience for us from start to finish? And I would love to have you share that if you would.
Yeah, it's been a great experience the whole way through, just because the level of involvement that investing across borders has taken with me. It's been a very great personal touch. Going into my interview, being well over prepared for it, and it's because of your process. I know my business inside and out because of you and your team.
Thank you.
And that's the key to success. And also, like, allowing like, going back to what you were saying about flexibility, you can take on such a variety of clients that allows them to do anything that they want, whatever fit is for them. So I highly recommend investing across borders. It's a great process, and they definitely do make you feel like family.
I have goosebumps from that. Thank you. I really do. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, please.
I'm honestly getting to live my dream with my family in sunny Florida.
Yeah.
And being a business owner, which has always been a big dream of mine.
And it's a big dream of so many Canadians that are, working in jobs and making a decent living and not worrying about the future. But sometimes things happen, like COVID and all this other fun, not so fun stuff, but it did change the world. And I think that those of us that have taken advantage of the opportunities that were presented, and maybe taking our families across borders and moving to a new opportunity and starting their American dream, as Robert and his family are in the process of doing very excitingly. I don't even know if that's a word, but it gives me such great pleasure. And when people ask me, why do you do what you do? It's really because of people like the Pharoahs, because they were struggling. And I remember our first meeting. It was, gosh, what, around April of last year, May?
Yeah.
Okay. And Robert was like, wow, I don't know. Like, I remember feeling like, and Amy was on the call with you, right? And I remember feeling your apprehension, and it took some time. We went through, it wasn't like they signed on the dotted line that day. It took a little bit of time. And then some things happened in their personal lives. And then they were like, we're ready. Let's start this process. And we've started. And like I said, run through the process ever since. It was about 7 months in total, I think.
Yeah.
And the longest
and
part,
I was anticipating a year.
yeah.
So we're
and
ahead
it would
of
have been a
schedule.
year, but this lovely gentleman did not take no for an answer, and he expedited his interview from April or May all the way to February 22nd. So congratulations to you. It is a team effort. We cannot expedite the interview alone. The client has to do it, but we will support you and provide you with the documentation and all of that. But it's a true, like, I was like shocked. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like a week away or 10 days or something. I'm like, wow, great work.
I was too. I did a little bit of a jig when
yeah, for sure.
when I got that date. I woke up, I believe it was like 7:00 on a Saturday morning. And of course I had, for the previous 2 days, I'd been checking the website probably about 30 times a day.
Yeah.
And that earlier date came up by 2 months. So it was,
and it makes it a lot easier for you to go to Salt Lake City.
Yes.
To do your training, because you don't have to explain. You have it. There it is. Here you go. This is why I'm going. I have an E2 visa. I'm ready to go. I'm on my way. And now you can move your stuff and start your American dream. And we'll be right there with you every step of the way, when you renew, and when we're building your business, and when we're buying some properties together and bringing them into your PMI franchise so that we can manage them. Because I also have clients that are investing in Space Coast that definitely need property management. So it's always a win-win, because we end up working together with our clients, and very collaboratively, because at the end of the day, we are as dependent on you as you are on us, and we can't do what we do without clients like Robert. So thank
That's
you.
what I love about this community. That it is a community. We all feed off each other, and we all succeed when everyone else succeeds.
That's a wonderful testament. Thank you. And we're also going to be setting up a Facebook group for all of our existing clients. So you'll be right in there with them, so you can share ideas and come up with suggestions. And there are others that are in property management as well. And maybe you can share some insight and so on and so forth as you're building, because everybody wants to help each other, right? So
I look forward to it. Yeah.
Thank you. And it's truly a pleasure. So thank you again, Robert Pharoah, E2 visa candidate and E2 visa recipient as of what, 5 days ago, 5 days ago, I can't even count. So congratulations to you and to Amy and to your family. And we're looking forward to seeing you and meeting you here in sunny Florida.
Thank you.
Where you won't have to shovel any snow next winter.
I'm looking forward to it.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much. It's truly a pleasure, Robert. Thank you.
Thank you. You as well.